This is a 2017 Honda Phantom. It's a 750cc. It was barn kept. I'm going to be cleaning it and trying to get it started again. It hasn't been driven since probably 2020. It does have saddlebags that were on it. But I'm going to start with cleaning it, and then I'm going to go from there to see what I need to do to get it running. After a quick wipe down, this is what the bike looks like. This is all I used. Waterless car wash, some interior cleaner, and some Rain-X. Had to remove two 5mm Allen head bolts from the gas tank just to take this off where the wires are connected to help me remove the gas tank. The fuel lines are right here. This is the primary and this is the reserve line, and this is the fuel pump. Guessing it's fuel injected, but it's a 12mm bolt to take off the gas tank so I can drain the fuel out. What I have is two of these hose clamps, so after I get the fuel tank up, I'm going to attach these to both the fuel lines so I can disconnect them from here and then drop the fuel in my gas tank. Now I have to remove the fuel lines. I have them clamped up over here, but there still will be some residual fuel in the lines, which are right here and right here. So when I unclamp these, I have a rag behind there to catch some of that leftover fuel. Fuel tank off. So primary, reservoir. There you go, primary, reservoir. You can see from the gap, or the gap, you can see the size. Larger one's the primary, smaller one's the reservoir. And there's the fuel tank. Now I just got to drain the fuel out. So I have the gas can propped up, or the gas can set up, gas tank on top of whatever ammo box this is, so it can just gravity feed into the gas can. So I'm going to put the fuel tank back on. The connectors. This is the breather that connects right here. And then there's this plug that I missed, and that's for the fuel gauge. There they are. These two connectors here. I've already reconnected the hose to the pump. And this way I can just connect it back onto the fuel tank once I get it back on there. Alright, so I got the gas tank back on. I got the display back on. Now I'm going to work down here in the battery section. Let's see here. This doesn't go to anything on the bike. Something else must have been plugged in here because this is the wires for them. So I'm just going to take this piece out. This, however, this setup here actually goes to a 12-volt charger up top. So for now I'm going to leave it in because when I put a battery in, and I'm going to check to see if it works. If it works, then it's worth keeping on there. However, if it doesn't work, then I'll remove it. 12-volt charger on the handlebars. This is the plug for it. Goes to that. So originally there was this piece for a maintainer that was connected to the battery. There is also a second one that was attached. This one is for the 12-volt charger. But these connectors are the same, so that way I'll just connect the one and it'll come through the side here to connect here to this, but can also be unplugged, so this can be plugged into a maintainer to keep the battery charged when not in use. I have a new battery for the motorcycle. I'm just putting it on the maintainer to make sure that the charge on it is good. And according to the maintainer, it is exactly where it needs to be. So now I just got to move it into the bike. Alright, so the battery is in the bike. What I had to do here was I had to cut down a little bit of this wrap just so I could get this piece out. So this can go to the maintainer or the 12-volt charger on the bike, which I'm going to sling through here. The rest of this is going to sit across this place here, and then I'm going to connect both these terminals to the battery itself. Need a little extra leverage to get this into place. Alright, so here, here. And hopefully there it is, got it lined up now. Alright, I got these both tightened just enough to hold them in place, but loose enough that I can maneuver the terminals. So, I'm going to fit this right here, so it's out of the way. Lay this down, put this cover back on, because I need to see where everything is. Is everything connected? All the plastic's on. Because this, if I can get this sitting right, I'm going to feed this through here, and it's going to sit on top of the plastic, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and plug these in. So everything is connected. Alright, so everything is in place, out of the way, and now just have to finish tightening everything down. Try and maneuver this so everything's down, out of the way. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to check for, since everything is tight, is I'm going to check rub points to make sure that where it's sitting with the bike vibrating isn't going to cause too much friction, that it'll rub through the wire and cause a short. Because the last thing you want to do is be on a motorcycle stranded somewhere. Alright, everything looks to be in good order, out of the way. Isn't messing with any of the normal functions. This one threw me for a loop, but the key is actually underneath the seat. And then all I'm going to do is turn it, and I'm going to see if everything comes on. Alright, looks like we got lights. Everything's to be in good order. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put fresh gas in there, and I'm going to see if it starts. So I've put fresh gas in the motorcycle. It's in the on position. See all the lights. And then turn it on. Fuel pump. fresh gas, cycled through the fuel pump. Had to start it twice, but it did turn on. Fresh fuel. See what happens. Sounds good. The next thing is just putting it back together, I guess. Alright, so now I have these plastic covers back on. So the saddlebags that I have for the motorcycle, the cordage that was holding them together came apart. So I have new cordage here that I'm going to use to stitch them back together. So this is how the saddlebags will sit on the motorcycle. I have them set up based on the way that the brackets are set up. So that's how I have the saddlebags set up on the motorcycle. Now I just have to attach the bottoms with the buckles on the bottom of the bags to hold them in place. So I restitched it. I ran out of black cordage, so I used brown. But I did this because I thought it looked better, and it holds it a little more evenly on the back of the motorcycle. Here we go. All cleaned, running, finished product.